And they make such a person absolutely abnormal. Psyche is conditioned, no doubt. If you all the time tell the child, don't do this, don't do that, the child gets conditioned, no doubt. If you discipline a person too much, he might get conditioned, no doubt. But if you are a model yourself, if the father and mother both are the model of goodness, then the child accepts it without being conditioned. This is the central path of evolution. That's why I say that the family is the most important unit of every nation. All effort must be done to retain the holiness, the respect, and the greatness of marriage institutions. That's why all the incarnations have been married people. And even the gurus like Guru Nanak and all these people have been married and they have been leading a normal married life. You go to the West and you are surprised at the tomfoolery and the stupidity to which they are taking. You cannot believe how foolish they have become. We don't have to learn anything from them in this respect. They have broken their families. They have divorced their wives, all right? The women have divorced their husbands. 10 men divorcing 10 women, marrying each other all the time, ending up in a anathalaya, and the children have taken to drugs. What a nice society. The husband comes home and wife has disappeared, taking a divorce, saying, I didn't like my husband, there was no compatibility. And the psychologists are very nicely helping them to build up a society of chaos. And the religion has been thrown to waste because they think it conditions people. It will, if it is a false religion. If it is a suppression, for example, Christianity never preached such things that these people are following. Christ never talked of sannyasa of any kind. He himself was a great celibate, born personality. He was an incarnation. But his mother was married and he attended marriages. But the Roman Catholics started a suppressed type of institutions where they preached complete celibacy. Martin Luther came in. He said, no, this is wrong. It should be spontaneous. He was correct. At that point, he was correct. But he went wrong that he did not recognize Mother of Christ. That was the greatest mistake because from where do you get the sense of celibacy? From where do you get the sense of holiness? In what relationship? In the mother and the son. That's how Christianity has gone to dogs in that country. As I told you yesterday, they are making a picture of sex of Jesus Christ. Can you imagine such a picture? Can you tolerate in this country? So we have people who are teaching us, who are actually possessed. Most of the psychologists are possessed. And they deal only with abnormal people. And they cannot normalize these ideas for the normal people. But by doing that, they have created abnormal personalities. And you can find all kinds of absurd things in that country. that a 19-year-old woman having a love affair with a 19-year-old boy, can you think of such a thing in this country? It's a common thing there. There is a law in England, imagine England is such a traditional place, that a father cannot have bad relations with the daughter. And that the mother cannot have with the son. A law. We don't need a law like that. I mean, we cannot have a law that you cannot eat the filth. We do not make law like that. I mean, human beings know that much. But they have a law. Now the trouble is they are asking, imagine, thanks to the psychologist, they are asking that this law should be taken away so that they should be made free to do what they like in this respect. What do you say to this? You can't believe it, but it is so. There was a minister here, Mr. V.K. Arvi Rao. He went to America and he gave me a terrible experience when I was going to America. He said, don't go there. They will never understand you, mother. Please don't go. I said, what happened? He said, I went down to see my daughter. She was away, living away from the main city. So I said, I'll stay over here with her. So the landlady said, no, you can't do that with your father. She said, what? No, he can't stay. Any other man can stay, but not your father. You can't sleep with her. She gave her a big slap. But this man said, such a filth. Where they think we cannot understand these things just now. They also never understood this. Thanks to these psychologists whom they have accepted. Thank God we do not know so much of English to read that psychology of theirs. The way they have ruined these innocent people by their preachings. They are worse than all the horrible preachers ever known. With a very little knowledge of this Kundalini on the left-hand side, they have ruined such a great race, such great people. So many saints are born in that America and England. Oh, I weep to see all that. They are all ruined by these people by telling them these stories. This they call as freedom. And disciplining, they thought, was conditioning. But disciplining through a model, they could not understand. Now, I will tell you how in our country also people have used these entities. We have had the greatest saints and the greatest incarnations in this country, no doubt, I agree. But we have the greatest thugs also, the two extremes. On the other side also, we have the supra-conscious people dying. I'll put them together and tell you all the various types of things they do. The people who are great planners and great sort of thinking all the time, what am I going to do this and what am I going to do that, and they cannot fulfill their desires, and they are sort of absolutely identified with their desires and very egoistical. They are power drunk about women also. They want to have many women around. Women want to have many men around. All kinds of things, you see, all these complicated types. They are not satisfied with one wife or one husband sort of people. All abnormal. And also those who think that, like Napoleonic, you see, this kind of egoistical people who think no end of themselves and try to identify themselves with their false ambitions like Hitler. When they die, they go to the other side on the right-hand side, the supraconscious. They are very dynamic people. And they are the people who are very aggressive. They can also possess you. And you do not know how you get possessed by them. So there are two types of people. One the depraved and another the aggressive. So the thugs who are always waiting for an opportunity to learn, use these entities for their own purpose. You want me to tell how they do it? That would be a bit too much. They have a way, they work in the smashanas. It's known as a Bhuta Vidya, Smashana Vidya, Preta Vidya. I know everything, but you need not know. They capture those entities and control them by controlling some of the parts of their body, especially the skull and all that. We had one Ananda Margi, you know that. And more will be coming forward. You will see them one after. They'll be exposed gradually. So these people capture the entities in their power, some the supraconscious and some the subconscious. And they try to capture the people through that. We have had, say, Ravana. Ravana had a capacity to hypnotize. All hypnosis, all what you call this ESP, all these extra things are done by these entities who can be good, can be depraved, can be very bad. In London, there is an organization known as Late Dr. Lang's International Curative Center. Late. He's dead. But the curative center is working. This Dr. Lang, when he died, he had discovered some things which he wanted that he should implement immediately. I mean, this is written in their pamphlet. Imagine. It's open. Huh? They are not making sort of a thuggy. They do not call it God and all that. Thank God. Others call it God, but they openly say, no, it is not. It is a spirit. So the spirit of Dr. Lang entered into the body of one soldier fighting in Vietnam. This they have written already on that pamphlet. It's on my own. And that spirit told this man that you go and tell my son that I am so and so, and that you open the clinic, the surgery. So the man possessed with the spirit went down and told the son, and he was taken aback. But he gave him such secret information that the son had to accept this information. And they opened the Late Dr. Lang's Curative International Center. So the thing started working. Many doctors who died with this kind of behavior also started working through that organization. So now they would say that if you are suffering from some disease, you let us know. We'll give you the time. That time, we'll work it out. Exactly on that date, that time, the man would start shivering. Jaise bhoot aaya. Something entering into their body. And the person would get rid of his trouble. But after 5-6 years, that man would rattle like a junkie car. The nerves were completely finished. I have had many patients from so-called Dr. Lang's horrible institution. And it's very difficult to cure them because they are such horrible, depraved souls that they do not want to leave the body of these people. You can use these spirits for many tricks. It's a very common thing. In our group, there was a lady who was a disciple of some sort of a man like this, who used to carry a snake around and all that. She came to me. I gave her the realization, quite all right, but she was like this, not all right. So I told her, you have to give up this horrible guru of yours and your ambition to be one of those so-called people with power. If you accept it, then only this realization will stay, otherwise it will disappear. She would not listen to me. While going to America, I told her, Madam, be careful. You will get those powers, so you should not accept them. She said, no, I will never accept. I do not want these dead powers. I do not want this. I want the Supreme. I want the Parama. I said, all right, keep to it. But she started getting some kuku out of her hand and some rice out of her hand. That made her think it was a good idea. She started her center now, giving away things. She started showing all sorts of magical things. It ended up by giving the number of the horse that is going to come. She used to have a big stick in her hand. She used to beat people when they came to her. She became a satanic personality. Horrible face. Such horrible face she had. I mean, I could not recognize her when I came back. When they told me that this lady is doing all these miracles, I was most embarrassed. I didn't know what to do, and she had put up my photograph with her. And I had disappeared from the photograph long time back. When I came back, she called me in her house. She brought thousands of people. For such a people, there are thousands because you can tell horses number naturally. You see, here I have less, but that lady had thousands. And she washed my feet and did all that. I was so embarrassed. I could see in her house all those entities moving very nicely, jeering at me. How they have captured the woman. So I told her when she came to me that these are not your powers. And she got a shock of her life. I said, now you say what you know before in my presence. So she started telling another person, you have a house like this, you have like that. She said, no, nothing of the kind. It's all wrong. So she told it to somebody else who was sitting there, that in your office there is a man of this name. He said, nothing of the kind. It's all wrong. So she just fell at my feet and said, Mother, have you taken away all my powers? I told her, oh, my child, if they were your powers, I would have put you on my head. I would have loved you, kissed you. But these are not your powers. These are the powers of somebody else, and they have disappeared like that. She got even worse, and she said, Mother, please get rid of them. But then, when she went back home, all her thousands of disciples waiting there to know all these things. What a temptation. She went on, and now she is in the lunatic asylum. And all her disciples will be filling up that Thana, I think. Thana hospital very well. Some of the ones who were affected by her came to me. I didn't know what to do with them. Such a headache for me. You can work them out in so many ways. Not only by this, but there are so many ways by which you can use these entities. But for a normal person who's sitting down there, suddenly I get a snake in my hand. Oh, Mataji is the most powerful person we have ever seen. With my own eyes I have seen. I met an ambassador somewhere. Outside he was wearing a nickel thing in his neck. And he was singing the praise of the man who has given them. I said, what for a nickel? At least you should have had a diamond. After all, you are an ambassador. You got a little, hurting there. I said, you are the cream of the nation like a fool. You are running after these nickel things. Did you go to ask him for these things? He said, no, I went for Supreme. Then I said, why don't you throw it on his face? There's another one who came to me. He has got a diamond ring. Rich man, very, very rich. I said, how many diamond rings you have got? Only the rich, huh? Otherwise, why don't they solve our economic problems? Easy thing, bring diamonds, solve the problems. Now the scientists, if they want to know how am I to tell them there are boots, they are not going to believe me. So they bring out. This gentleman came to me with a diamond ring. Oh, this is the diamond ring I've got. I said, well, nice. Now what do you want from me? I haven't got diamonds. He said, no, mother, I just asked him for the Supreme. Well, why did you take the ring? You can purchase the ring in the market. How many do you have? He says, I have many. Can you purchase God in the market? He's a smuggler, he's everything. And the Guruji has no objection. Guruji himself drinks whiskey. And the gentleman, he is a great worshipper of the Guruji. He also drinks whiskey. Guruji does not mind as long as he passes on 2 or 3 bottles of foreign whiskey to him. And then he comes to Mataji. So Mataji asks, now why me, sir? What am I to do about it? He says, Mataji, I have a problem. I said, what's the problem? I am losing lots of diamonds. Oh. What about your wife? Oh, she is completely dedicated to him. And she goes and stays there for months together. She's not bothered about the husband, about the children, about anything. Oh, she has dedicated herself to the Guruji. So the wife was brought to me. Lady is completely possessed. Oh God, I said, now what am I to do with this woman? What question am I to ask her? Then I took out her booth, did lots of things, took out. She's a lady doctor. I asked her, you are a lady doctor. What have you been up to? She said, I don't know. Somebody inside me tells me these are all stones. Give this to Guruji. These are stones for it. I said, mad woman, if these things are stones for you, for a married woman, diamonds are stones. So they should be dust for that Guruji of yours who says he's a sannyasi. Why are you giving him these stones? And did you tell your husband? She says, no, I never told him. He was about to report it to the police and the Guruji would have been in difficulty. But despite all that, and the husband getting heart attack twice, they came to me again for the curing of the husband. Diamonds disappearing, but the wife cannot get rid of the gentleman at all. They are so possessed. Very difficult. And thousands of them will run after such a man because very easy to hypnotize. Even they can look at you and hypnotize. Hypnosis is a simple mass hypnosis which they have mastered. Which they are using on people and working it out this way, and people are running after them. And whenever you ask any one of them, they will say, no, we didn't ask for diamonds. Why are you impressed by him? Did he give anybody realization? Anybody has got Chaitanya? Does he talk of Kundalini? Does he know anything about parasympathetic nervous system? No. He just say that I am God. Very nice. And we all should accept it. Anybody saying I am God, there should be some praman. This is one style. There are many like this. Surprisingly, Christ was a man who, of course, Nanak has written, I must say Nanak has written such a lot against them. Thank God, I hope the Sikh people are not running after such people. I hope so. But Kabir has written, Tukaram has written, Kabir has lashed these people with treacheries and this and that. Lashed them completely. But who reads Kabir? These Pishachas, these Rakshasas have been lashed by so many poets of this country. They have told not to go near these people, who divert your attention from the subtle to the grossest things. But nobody reads. So they go. To other styles of people. Now Christ was one incarnation who has clearly told that you have nothing to do with spirits, with the dead. But all the Christian nations are religiously spirit worshippers, religiously. In London, you go 4 steps and you find one spiritualist sitting there. I'm not telling you falsehood. We have some English people, they'll Tell me. You can ask. All kinds of spiritualists. Even among Christians, there are Pentecostalists who get possessed. And they say that the Holy Spirit has descended upon us. Tantrika started this in India about 6th century. It has gone to such a foolish nonsense that in the temples of Mahalakshmi in Bombay, they are having this kind of a nonsense going on there. And when I told the trustees that you stop all this, otherwise I will not come to your temple to address, they would not. They said, how can we? That's how we gather crowds. People, these Ghatin women, these working women, they get possessed. They start doing who. People come and ask them questions. That Mahalakshmi has some sense or not? That is she going to come to these Ghatin women who are doing all kinds of things? Some of them are prostitutes. Is she going to enter into the body of these people to tell you the questions what your father is going to get tomorrow? Is that the interest of God? Use your brains. Why God should be interested in such useless, worthless, momentarily existing things? How can you connect it with God? I cannot understand. By what intellect you connect it. And very great scientists, you see, are trying to discover and investigate. That is there. So, we have types and types. I've told you in London we have many types. Scientology, another thing they started in America. God. But what is the ulterior motive of this? One is power. One is money. It's all a money-making proposition. When I say that you cannot pay anything for your salvation, people get a shock of their life. They cannot understand a mother's love. They cannot. That a mother can work like this morning till evening just to give us salvation. They cannot think of a personality like that. Impossible. That she doesn't ask for anything. It's impossible for them to believe. In America, I went there, people said that such and such person is charging $275 for introducing one booth into people. What about you? Why don't you charge when you're giving the reality? I said, how much can you give me? How much have you got? What is the value? You put me in the balance. Can you sell your mother? I said, you have asked me once, never raise such a question to insult me. All right. You have to build a place. Supposing we want to have a place for meeting place, all right. You have to pay for this pendant, all right. Correct money, have a pendant. But you cannot have realization with money. We have to understand one small thing. That supposing I say, all right, come my son, live in my house without paying any money, nothing, you just live like a parasite. Will you accept? Any one of you? Will you accept? And these parasites are living on your money, other people's money. Every cloth that they have, every morsel that they eat, every house they have, every Mercedes they ride belongs to others. A society which permits such parasites will get parasites. It is what we have deserved. Why should you pay for God? I cannot understand. Already we have had many of these pandits and these thugs sitting in like pandas. And then the archbishops of the thugs have come as Bhagwans. and gods with all this special knowledge of how to be fooled, and we the simple householders and these the parasites who call themselves as the sadhus and the sannyasis living on our earnings, why should we pay them? Why are you paying to these sadhus and sannyasis? Sitaji has very clearly told that have nothing to do with kashayas, nothing to do with the Bhagava. And no sadhu should stay in a village for more than 2 days and 1 night. She has said no woman should have a man as a guru, because Adishakti Sita herself was deceived by this horrible Ravana who is born today, who is a Bhagwan in this. You don't know him. You will know him by his tricks, by the methods, the way he threatens Sitaji that if you do not accept my proposals, I am going to make your Indian women naked. And he is doing it. And we are seeing it with our open eyes. Their photos are blown up and sold in America. And the fellow is a multimillionaire. And I don't know what the income tax is doing here. It's a fact. We are very passive people, I must say, in this respect. Why can't we find it out? Is it our culture? This can be done also. Nice cabaret show arranged free of cost. And people enjoy, you see, the talk very much because, after all, you see, in the name of religion and God, you want to bring prostitution, you want to kill the dharma, you want to make everybody a Satan. No use killing these horrid people. They have been killed many a times and are again back here. I can only appeal to your senses and to your dignity that try to understand and rise. Then we see the other side. You see, there are many styles which I cannot go into details and nothing so important. Better to talk of God than to talk of these horrid people. On the other side of the human beings lies the supra-conscious, what they call supra-mental, and all these names are given. On the right-hand side, there are the people who are extra dynamic, exist. They are also used by some people. For example, it's better to give them, these entities, some names of God. For example, they'll give a name, say, of Ram. We say, oh, we must take the name of Ram. We're taking name Ram, 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 Ram. Now we must understand, what is our right to call Ram? Is he our servant? That we are, oh Ram, come here. Look after my father says. Give me food, supply this, do this. Is he our servant? He is Sri Ram, the incarnation of God. You want to call him just like this, what is your right? Call him Ram, Ram, Ram. Because the great saints have said, Sumirana karo. So you are doing Sumirana. Is it Sumirana? Do you have that heart to do Sumirana?
भगवत गीता सार. कोणी मन दुखावले असेल, अडचणीत असाल तर नक्की ऐका हा व्हिडिओ.